So now it's recording. So like I said, you can see here on the eye, you got the short side and you got the long side. I mean the two short sides and then these long sides. So you look on the short side and to look if you have two or one muscle there. It looks like this short side has got this one muscle. Okay. And then we look at this side. It looks like something was here, but it came off. Okay. But it's got on the top here, you know that the top with the two muscles will be the superior side because the lateral side only has the one. So you can see here the lateral side, you see this is the oblique and this is the superior rectus and this is the superior oblique, and therefore this is the inferior oblique. What we can't tell is the short sides because the short side, it doesn't have the two muscles on one side. Okay, so I put this on the side. That's why I grab like 3 or so eyes. That way I can sort of find one that has the two. So if I could, this one doesn't look that great. Okay, let me see here on this one. Right. Okay, so we may have a winner here. So one of the deals is you're gonna have to remove all these guys. Okay. You're gonna have to remove some of this extra stuff, and then you're also gonna have to remove the fat. Okay, you see. Do you see? Okay. Now you look at this short side. You see this short side? You see it's got this rectus over here. Do you get it? Okay. So what you want to do is remove the fat and all those things. You see the rectus that's been cut, although it's been, the remnants of it is not much that's left, but and then you can see this one. You see at an angle coming down. So therefore this is the lateral side. It means this eye is on the right. See what I'm saying? Because this is the lateral side, because it is this inferior oblique. So therefore, because this is the inferior oblique pointing towards the inferior side, therefore this here, which has been really cut off, see this one? You see this muscle? So that's the inferior rectus. If this long side is the inferior side, therefore by default this should be the superior side, and therefore you will confirm it by seeing two muscles. Okay? And you do. You see? Superior rectus and superior oblique. Right there. You see what I'm saying? So you start with the short side, you look to see two muscles, one will be pointing down to the long side, and it points to the inferior side. Okay? So this will be the lateral rectus, this is inferior oblique, and therefore the one here will be the inferior rectus. Therefore by default this is the, and therefore this is the medial rectus on the nose bridge. Okay? And then this is the superior rectus, and this is the inferior. And you can see how it's superior oblique, it's going at an angle. See that? Okay. So now I'm going to make the first incision just so that at least we can see that. Okay? Okay. So like I said, you use your scalpel to gain access, and you go midway between the long and the short side. And you see where I place my fingers? I always place my fingers where I'm not cutting towards. You see, my fingers were like this, and I knew I was going to be cutting down, so I put my fingers like that. Okay, so when I cut down, I don't accidentally cut myself. Okay, so you do that. So, and you're going to see the aqueous humor come out when you do that. The cornea is hard. Okay, you think the eye is delicate structure? No, it's not. It's excellently protected. You see how I'm finding it difficult just to cut through the cornea? You know, back in the days, you think the eye is such a delicate. Oh, now I'm in. Now you see that aqueous humor. So once you gain access, you can put your scalpel down, and then because you don't want to damage the structures inside too much, you're going to use the sharp end. I know we always say put the blunt end in, but the blunt end has got so much, scissors on there. You see how thick this is? I don't want to damage structure. So I make sure I pull to the top like that, and then I just cut like that. Okay? Then I go to the other side, then I do the same. Thank you guys for hanging around. I really appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And then we cut to the long side like that with the scissors. Now, do you see I put the scalpel down? If I was using a scalpel with this, because now the eyeball is not so solid because it's been cut and the fluid is coming out, I could cut myself so easy. It's not even funny. But it won't be funny for sure, because when you cut yourself, you won't like it. So the scalpel is just to gain access, okay? So, and I'm holding my eye the right way up. You can see, now I can, you see I open this. So this is the cornea, okay? This is the cornea, and you can see what's behind it. Behind, you see the hole in the eye is the pupil, and this brown part is the iris, and the hole in the eye, you can see the lens behind it. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna remove the rest of the fat and expose my and cut sparingly, but use your hands, because if you cut, you may accidentally cut off those rectuses and the muscles, because we need the muscles to stay on there. So this is a complete muscle eye with all the muscles on it, the 6 muscles. And the one I didn't show you is the retractor bulb, which is this. Okay, so there's going to be 7 muscles I'll ask you to identify in the sheep eye. Okay, in the human, there's no retractor bulb, but it is the other 6. Okay, and you can see this is the optic nerve. This is the optic nerve. Do you see that? Okay, because the optic nerve goes in there, that carries the sensory of for vision. Okay, so I'm going to do the second incision, and then I'm going to let you guys go when I go through all the structures. I'll stop the video, then I'll re-record it again, just now showing you the structures. Okay, so when you guys watch this, I know it's recording because I really pressed it over there. Last time I pressed it here, it didn't work, so I'm not taking chances now. No more. Technology, you know, you can only trust it so much. Okay, so when we get to this, I can now cut because I can see there is no muscles there. Okay, okay, so I do that. So now when I'm done, I scoot these muscles to the front. Okay, because I want all these muscles. Don't cut on this, because then if you cut on these muscles, you're gonna remove them, and then the eye is bad. You have spoiled it. So you see this gap that's in the middle? That's, you see this white here? This sort of grayish white? That's the sclera now. So the second decision I said is on the sclera, right? Remember? So I do that, I scoot that, and then I scoot all this forward, and then I scoot all that. You see, I scoot that. Do you see? I've got all my muscles there. Make sure all this scoot to the front, and then, so again, I'm gonna use my eyeball, my cornea to gain access first, and so you see where I'm gonna put my fingers. Another thing is that this thing is slippery and slick, and with a scalpel, you don't wanna take chances. Okay, you gotta be careful. That's why you're not gonna cut when I'm not here. You're just gonna watch the videos. When I come back, that's when we cut, and I'll be there to supervise. Okay, because I don't want somebody cutting their fingers, because you can do it very easily. So you see, again, you see, I'm cutting when there are no fingers there. You see, so you go right in the middle. Again, the sclera has another tough layer. You see how hard it is? It's not easy to cut through it. So we're gonna find that gelatinous. You see, now you can see the gel. Do you see it? The gel is not supposed to be as liquid as that. It's supposed to be very gel-like. Yeah, that's the vitreous humor. Okay, again, I'm using the sharp end so that I do not disturb my structures in there. Do you see once again access? What do? I throw my scalpel away, you know what I'm saying? Make sure all your muscles are in the front, please. These rectuses, okay? And you want to cut right in between there. There's only a small gap, because right behind it is the retractor bulb. You don't want to cut on the retractor bulb. Why? Because you'll be there cutting for the whole day. It will be too tough. It's hard enough to cut the sclera just by itself. So you don't want to cut on the retractor bulb, because you know you'll be there the whole day. Okay? And I don't want you to be there the whole day, you know. I want you to be there for a short time. I want you for now to leave it hanging by a small, you know, little bitty here. You see, my good friends, we might see the macula. It's a yellowish structure in the back here. You see, there you go. This is a beautiful eye. You see the gel, the vitreous humor. Okay, this is the optic disc where the thing comes out of. You see what I'm saying? So if I put it close to the camera, you see, and this yellowish thing that looks like cream cheese. I love cream cheese on bagels. I love it. That's the retina. Okay. Okay, this yellowish stuff is the retina, and I'm afraid we couldn't see the macula lutea, which is the center of the eye. Usually it's a yellowish spot. You see it sometimes, but because that's why it's very sensitive to light, as soon as you expose it, it vanishes. Okay, so but there are times when you are able to see it. Okay, you see this black layer right here? That's the choroid cord. Remember in your modules it was asking me to list them from superficial. So the most superficial on the outside will be the sclera, which is this. Then this black layer is the choroid cord. It's got lots of pigment in it to prevent light, UV light from from the sun. Just like the skin gets melanin to protect it from the UV light. So and the business of this is to gather all the light. So you need a whole bunch of melanin to protect against damage to the other cells. So once you do that, you remove your vitreous humor with your blunt probe from the other part. You see how it's firmly attached to the thing as I'm peeling it off. Now I can see the processes, the ciliary processes on the ciliary body. These are the ones that produce aqueous humor that goes into the anterior chamber, okay? Into the anterior cavity. Okay. Do you see how I'm peeling it off? It's actually fun to peel it off. My lens is also about to peel off, but I want to leave my lens in place so you could see the lens in place, after I remove the vitreous humor. Okay. Do you see my excellent friends? This was a beautiful eye. I got lucky I chose it, That's why I had like 3 of them in there. Boom. Now, when you're looking from behind, now you can see the ciliary processes. Do you see them? Okay. And then you can see behind it would be, so this is the lens. Okay, so if I scoot the lens over here a little bit, and you could see the pupil from there, but this here would be the ciliary body, the one that suspends the lens, and you can see the ciliary processes right there. Okay, that where you have that epithelial layer that produces the aqueous humor. Okay, normally at the end I remove the lens completely. Okay, do you see the difference from here? And if I go to the front, now I can scoot my muscles back. If I go to the front, you see, now I see the iris, and the iris is brown. Whether they have blue eyes, brown eyes, black eyes, it's all here. So this is the iris, and this is the pupil, and this is the cornea, okay, and this is the sclera, okay, those are the parts. And then inside here you have the ciliary body and the ciliary processes. You can see that the ciliary body is one that's holding the lens in place, okay, all right. And then here you have the optic disc, which is the blind spot, and the creamy part is the retina, okay, and then the black spot is the choroid. Remember, we say the vitreous humor presses the retina flat against the choroid cord. Actually, there's a condition that's called retinal detachment, when the retina detaches from the choroid cord. Remember, the choroid cord is part of the vascular tunic, which supplies nutrients to the retina. So if the retina is detached, it's not getting oxygen, it's not getting nutrients, and then you get problems. Okay, you can't see properly. So you need it to be attached. Sometimes they remove your vitreous humor and they put artificial humor inside to make sure it's all pressed against that choroid cord. Okay, all right. So what I'm gonna do is stop the video, and then I will let you guys go, and then I'm gonna now go through the parts by itself so you can watch it. Those are things you watch. So you watch the dissection video first, then you watch the the actual parts so you can identify them. And I think when you do your dissection, you'll probably do a much better job if you watch this. I think even when I'm gone next time, if I'm around, if I'm not having a trip, I'll do this, record it, you guys watch it before you do it, because when I'm doing it, not everybody can see, because you're all gathered around. So, and then you guys will dissect it next time after you've seen the videos. Okay. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you for hanging around until after hours. I will post all the rest of the videos online, okay?